Hey people, it is Monday, May the 22nd, and the time is 6:09 in the evening. It's currently 13 degrees Celsius. It's cooled down a bit from earlier in the day when it was more like 16 or 17 Celsius. And I'm looking at some of the boats that I believe are part of the Toronto Yacht Club. And I'm at the very eastern, or western I should say, end of Queen's Quay, which is the popular waterfront strip. And there's a look east. And tons of people are out walking and cycling today all along the lakefront. It is Victoria Day, which is a statutory holiday. So a lot of people are out with their families, enjoying the nice weather. And I was live streaming through the area here, but my stream unexpectedly cut out. So I thought I would just fire up a video as I make my way back into downtown. I'm not exactly sure which route I'll take. I'll just walk along Queen's Quay for the time being, but I think once I get to Bathurst Street, I might head north up into downtown. So this is a nice little pocket of residential area here. There are a number of parks in the area. And that blowing noise was me blowing a bug off of my hand. I believe this is Little Norway Park here.
It's so funny with the puns, like the kids are calling different. Mouse romani, non è cliché.
So you can see lots of people are still wearing their coats. Whereas it is a bit cooler now than earlier in the day, but I was out and about streaming earlier, and I would never have imagined being able to wear a coat.
Okay, we'll walk.
Alright, so this is where Bathurst Street starts heading north. So we're walking along basically the very western sort of boundary of what is considered downtown. If you would like to see all the action along Queen's Quay, just check out the replay of the live stream I did today, right before I began this video. It was packed with people the entire way. Lakeshore Boulevard. This is always a bit of a hassle to get across as a pedestrian. He wasn't waiting anymore. All right, finally. And you kind of have to walk fast just to get across all the way. It's already almost counted down to 0. And we are near Fort York, the historic fort that predates the city of Toronto, and I think this artwork is sort of reflective of that fact. And this is the Fort York neighborhood to my left. It's a high density area consisting of many condo towers. And just on the other side is the City Place neighborhood, which is very much the same. I guess the main difference being that Fort York neighborhood is not considered to be in downtown Toronto, whereas City Place is considered to be within downtown Toronto. Walked under the Gardner Expressway. Love it or hate it, it is what it is. I think the city has done its best to try to build all around it. Just passing over the Bathurst Street Bridge. Usually I walk on the other side. So I thought it was about time I walked on this side, and we'll get a good look at Fort York as we pass over here. The main reason for walking on that side most of the time is the awesome skyline view. Right there, you can see some of the old historic structures of the old fort that dates from the late 16th century. Did I say 16th? I meant late 17th century. Did I say 17th? I meant late 18th century. Let me just give you a year. 1793. There you go.
Yeah.
Looking down the rail corridor.
Look at me.
I think being a statutory holiday, GO train service is at a reduced schedule today.
Like how you spin a spinny thing.
And let's look east down Front Street. This is where Front Street begins. And this is the Stacked Market. It's a neat little area of shipping containers full of retail shops and restaurants. I've done several walks through there if you're curious. I think this was meant just to be a temporary thing, but 3 years later it's still going. think this garbage can could withstand all the activity today. So many people out and about heading down to the lakefront and back from the lakefront. Maybe I'll cross to the other side of Bathurst. That will put us officially inside of downtown Toronto. This is Niagara Street.
Hi, are you home?
Lots of densification happening along Bathurst, especially the more southerly part of the street. Just crossing Wellington. This is where they're building a new cycle path here. It's going to be a separated and protected bike path running all along the length of Wellington into downtown. We'll just come over and get a little peek here. I came across this in a live stream recently and was pleasantly surprised. And it looks like more progress has been made since then.
No, it works out. It's like they FaceTime and like this box is look.
It's crossing King Street. Take you through the nightlife area of the city as you walk east. I think I will go up to Adelaide and then start making my way east along that street. I'll save King Street for another time, maybe do a nightlife video. Now that the weather's warming up, it really gets going big time on weekends. Pretty big patio stretching all along the block here, with the dreaded patio music, of course. More people just out enjoying the nice weather on what was most likely a day off for them. Of course, some people weren't so lucky and had to work today, such as many retail and restaurant workers. But I think they get paid time and a half if they do have to work on a statutory holiday. And we just turned onto Adelaide.
Wake up that early, because realistically at that point you're waking up at
I don't know what to make of this building here. Seems like an abomination in some ways. But it is sort of interesting, so I'll have to think about that one. And the guy in the car waiting to turn, as I was merely walking across the intersection at a regular rate of speed, I heard him say, "All right, buddy, Steven Spielberg," as if I was holding him up in some way. And a few of the old homes that used to line Adelaide Street. Most of them have now been converted into businesses. You can see how the church terminates the view looking this way. Adelaide does continue on. It sort of wraps around that church. But you wouldn't know it just by looking straight west down the street. And here's Portland Street. So I was referring to the nightlife area along King. Well, where it intersects with Portland is basically the center of that area. If you're looking for a certain type of nightlife, King and Portland is where you go. It's not the type of nightlife I prefer. And if you're wondering what type it is, check out one of my previous videos of the King Street nightlife scene. There's a dog park. Let's take a little walk through St. Andrew's Playground. I've always said if you're new to the city and having trouble making friends, if you have a dog, that's almost a guaranteed way to make some friends pretty quick. Either just take the dog out for a walk. People are bound to stop and talk to you. Or take the dog to the dog park and many people will be there. And back onto Adelaide. It's crossing Brant Street. And we're heading straight for the Adelaide Street Skyscraper Canyon. It begins just past Spadina, through the entertainment district, and continues on through the financial district. There's a nice old warehouse building that's getting some work done. I think there's a proposal to build a tower incorporating that building, actually. Kind of extending these skyscrapers to the west side of Spadina. I've always had my eye on this fire escape. There's just no way to get to that first level. So here we are at Spadina Avenue. Let's look down south. They just have sharrows on the street here. I think there's a proposal for this corner as well for a new tower. So Adelaide Street is not finished yet. Interesting mural there. I don't think I've noticed it before. And I can see the CN Tower peeking out from between the buildings. And here's where things start looking really canyon-like. And this is considered to be within the entertainment district, as I mentioned. So there's quite a few restaurants and bars in the area. Over on King Street is where the bulk of the entertainment options are located. A number of theaters are over there as well. At one time, this was the nightlife district. About 20 years ago, this place was full of a bunch of mega clubs. These huge nightclubs that could hold hundreds or even 1,000 people. And the streets would be thronged with people after all the clubs let out. But over time, the neighborhood changed. More and more condos started getting built. Clubs started closing. The era of mega clubs seemed to be a short-lived one. And a different type of nightlife evolved, and things moved on to King Street West. And we're just passing John Street. There are a number of patios and bars and restaurants all along John. It's considered probably the other main street of the entertainment district, along with King Street. And there's lots of loud music also. You can see the patios lining the street all the way up to Queen. Actually, you know what? I think I might take Queen north, or John north up to Queen is what I'm trying to say. And I think once I get to Queen, I will call it a video.
I think we walked out of something there.
There's a nice view looking into the financial district. Large Michael's store. I think it was closed today due to the holiday. Unless it was just operating on reduced hours. See, it was open today actually. So normal hours are till 9 p.m., but today it closed at 6 p.m. So as I mentioned earlier, people working today in there were getting time and a half. And many of the shops along Yonge Street were also open. Basically any area that is sort of designated as a tourist type area, stores will be open on statutory holidays. Crossing again to avoid some music on that side of the street. It's like musical sides of the street. And we're walking past the old former Much Music building here at Queen and John. This is where Speaker's Corner used to be set up here, right on this side of the building. And I hear the Beastie Boys blasting from the Friar across the street. But I'm going to wrap things up here as we meet up with Queen Street West. So I hope you enjoyed the walk. We started down by the Toronto Yacht Club, making our way through a very scenic little residential area along Queen's Quay, then up north along Bathurst to Adelaide, following Adelaide all the way to John, and then north on John here to Queen Street West, which is still very busy and bustling. So leave a comment below if you enjoyed the walk. And be sure to like, share, and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. And also make sure you hit the notification bell. That way you won't miss any of my videos. And if you'd like to support the channel, there are links in the description where you can do so via PayPal, as well as via my merch store. And there's also a super thanks button right down below if you'd like to send some support to the channel that way. And you can also find me on Instagram under KContinuum. So thanks for watching, and be sure to keep checking back because, as always, I will continue.
Yeah.